date is Tuesday, April 22nd. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Figure 4 podcast. My name is Doug. Wrestlemania is in the books for 2025, and Dawn and I are going to recap the matches and what we thought of them, do a little critiquing, what we thought could have been better. And at the end of the show, I got, I guess you could call it a shoot interview from Karrion Kross. I hope to see a lot more out of this guy. Anyway, I'm done talking. Let's get to the show. Night one, I thought, was kind of a bust for WrestleMania. On paper, I thought it was going to be awesome, and it really wasn't. It was, we talked about it after. I said I'd give it a 6.5. That's absolute tops. You said you'd give it a solid 6.
Yep.
I'm just going to go in the order that I got these written down. Night one, I think we can go through pretty quick because there honestly wasn't a lot to talk about. El Grande Americano versus Rey Fenix because Rey Mysterio got hurt. It was a blah match. Look, El Grande Americano, Chad Gable, whatever the fuck you want to call him, it entertains me a little bit, and it goes back to the old style where he, you know, the foreign object that he loads up that mask. That's how he won the match, was the loaded mask. Started in the knee and then headbutted him, and he defeats Rey Fenix. There wasn't a lot to talk about in the match, though. Like, Rey did a couple of like flying things, but it's hard to expect something when there's no story. I mean, there kind of is, because he's always had a hard time with luchadors. That's the story, but there was nothing between him and Rey Fenix. So it was kind of like, well, we have him advertised for WrestleMania. We got to put him in a match, so we'll put him with Rey Fenix, who is good friends and looks up to Rey Mysterio. See why they did it, but blah.
If it was Mysterio that was in the match, I think it would have been better.
I can't even say that. I like, Rey did a good job. Rey Fenix did a good job. Don't get me wrong, it's just I'm not invested in anything there. There's just nothing there for me. Maybe, and you know what? Other people might have thought it was a great match. Myself, it was just kind of there. For me, and I don't want to disrespect either one of them, but for me, it's a popcorn match.
Yeah, I didn't really take much out of that match. I was looking forward to Rey Mysterio being in there because you know, Grande Americano, he's got. I mean, it's fucking Chad Gable.
Yeah, and everyone knows that, and I think that's why I like the way that they're really going with it and they're pushing it. Do you remember when Hulk Hogan was Captain America or whatever the hell?
My God,
years and years ago on SmackDown, like they're pushing this. Like no one knows. Everyone knows this is fucking Chad Gable. It's just, I don't know. It was a match that was thrown together and they didn't build it up to anything. And this isn't going to go anywhere. Like there might be a return match on SmackDown or something. Hey, you cheated. I want another shot at you. And then he's going to lose again. And then that'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
And then once Rey's cleared, they'll move on. It's going to be interesting to see now, since Triple H announced that they acquired AAA.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. Wouldn't it be cool if they had their own division, their own show, and El Grande Americano, because he's a luchador, has to go over and wrestle with the luchadors? That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic. And then they could take the mask off and everyone will be surprised that it's Chad Gable.
Yeah. That's actually a really good idea. Where he's got the only heat that he has in terms with like the luchadors is with the LWO.
Yeah.
I was actually surprised that they didn't take somebody from the LWO to go against him. But I mean, who in the LWO are you going to get aside from Rey Mysterio that could potentially be?
Well, yeah, because Rey Fenix style is Rey Mysterio style. He's based his career off of Rey Mysterio. So it made sense for it to be Rey Fenix.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the match itself, for what it was, it wasn't bad. For what it wasn't bad. It was just kind of okay, just go. You got 10 minutes. Just go fill it.
Yep.
The WWE Tag Team Championships. The War Raiders and the New Day. Again, blah. Wasn't horrible. It wasn't a horrible match, but it wasn't good either. There were a couple of high spots. It wasn't a good match. It just wasn't. I don't know what I was expecting out of this match. The War Raiders, listen, for two big dudes, they're pretty good. They can move around the ring well. New Day are giving up hundreds and hundreds of pounds. They did what they could against them, which you have to do when you're a tag team. It doesn't matter the size, but just the match, I found there was nothing invested in it. And it just, in my eyes, it wasn't good. That's a match that should have been on Monday Night Raw. In my opinion, better. I was going to say better than I thought it was going to be, but I didn't expect that much out of it anyway. And this was the trend for me of night one. Like on paper, it looked like it should have been great, but you realize not everybody can have great matches with everybody. And of course, New Day go on. They win the World Tag Team titles, which I was happy about. I like this attitude, like the heel turn for the New Day. This should have happened years ago, whether Big E was with them or not, because they just became stale. It was literally like if I had a PVR, click, 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 click. Oh, New Day's coming out. Okay, click, click. But I like this New Day. They got an edge. They got a swagger. It's a little bit nude. You always get it nude. It's a little bit new, and you got to change with the times, and they had to. But Big E's name is still being brought in, so I want to see what's going to happen with him down the road. Hopefully, someday he gets cleared, even if he turns and he comes back and like he represents them as a manager or something. But I'd love to see New Day get Big E back or get his name involved somehow with the New Day. But getting back to the match itself, I didn't think much of it.
I said this in our preview that when they were announced that they were going against the New Day at WrestleMania, I'm like, they're still the champs.
Yeah. And it's sad to say, but.
And you know, I mean, they're trying to reinvent themselves, and good on them for, you know, moving on from being the Viking Raiders to, you know, the War Raiders. I think that was their name in NXT. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
The match itself, I mean, I kind of had a feeling that New Day was going to win because they need to take that half of the tag division and they need to go in a different direction. Like yourself, I like the fact that the New Day is gone heel. I think this whole positive energy and all that kind of bullshit, it ran its course. In terms of the match, honestly, I didn't have high expectations of it to begin with.
No.
New Day won. It's a new direction. They're going in. I think they're going in the right direction that they needed to go in. I just find that the tag division is
stale.
It's stale.
It's very stale.
Stale is the good word for it, man. Yeah, I didn't have high expectations going into that match. New Day won. Okay, let's see what they can do take the ball and run with it. Yeah. Let's see what they can do.
And you know what? Maybe, I mean, who else besides the War Raiders are they going to fight? Maybe the two teams can start getting together some chemistry now, because again, who else is going to fight New Day for the tag team titles? You're going to put Miz and Carmelo together. They'll be champions eventually, I guarantee you.
It's going to happen.
Whatever they call themselves, Awesome League Carmelo, whatever the fuck they call themselves these days. I don't even know. But I guarantee you they're going to be tag team champions eventually. Right now, New Day is the best team to hold those tag team titles, and I hope the Viking Raiders, they're former champs, and as per wrestling, you got to have your return match. There's a return clause. So hopefully, they have a few returns and chemistry gets better. But we'll see how long New Day keeps those belts. Jade and Naomi. This match was way better than I expected. Again, I thought Naomi was a little bit better than Jade. Naomi, we talked about heel turns with the New Day. Naomi needed this heel turn. Her career was done. It was just the Feel the Glow thing was over a long fucking time ago. I like this heel turn. I like this personality now from Naomi. That power bomb in that match. Oh my God. I thought Naomi was dead. The referee he looked awkward when he didn't get right down to go count. I think that should have been the end of the match right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that match was way better than I thought it was going to be. It was up until I up until the power bomb. It was the last few minutes. It really started getting good. Jade, I don't know if it's just because she's been out a little while or whatever, but she's got to evolve a little bit more. She can't just be a powerhouse. She's got to remember I always used to shit on Solo about how this dude has to hone his craft, learn his craft. That Simone Spike is awesome. Jade can't just be a powerhouse. She's got to start working a little more because Naomi, in my opinion, outworked her in this match. Naomi looked awesome in this match more than Jade. And Jade won.
Yeah. I mean, again, like I don't think either one of us had much expectations going into this match. Naomi seems more like she's more like a wrestling purist. Like she seems more like a wrestler.
Yeah.
Jade relies more on her looks, like the posing and everything like that. And I mean, like, don't get me wrong, she can go. Jade can, like, she can go, but in terms of overall wrestling, I think Naomi had the better match.
She did. I think so too.
Not surprised with the outcome. I picked Jade to win this match. I was actually kind of surprised that Bianca didn't show up. I'd said that she was going to show up, and there might have been something go on between her and Jade where she'd end up turning heel, and her and Naomi would be a thing again. But I mean, in terms of the match, like, yeah, I got to agree. Naomi had the better, like, wrestling match.
Yeah. And I think it was at the point, well, Naomi had the triple threat for the world championship coming up as well. So, and not only that, this is just something that she had to handle. She knew that Jade had to handle with Naomi on her own. I don't think Bianca getting involved in that match would have made a difference anyway. She didn't need to. She didn't. We both knew Jade was going to go over.
Yep.
The United States Championship match, LA Knight and Jacob Fatu. That match was pretty much what I expected. It was back and forth a little bit, but a slaughter. Jacob walks away with the U.S. Championship. I don't know if I was a director in a movie trying to direct this movie. I don't know how it was going to go, but I don't know what I would have did, but it was exactly what I expected was going to happen. Just this guy is just too much. He's a wicked character. It's going to be fun to see how he runs with this United States Championship now. There's a few title runs that are going to be fun to watch in the next while. Jacob Fatu is going to be one of them.
You know what, man? I picked LA Knight to win this match. And I can honestly say, post-match, Jacob has, I mean, he's got, I can't even explain it. Happy for him, super happy for him. I mean, it's another belt for the bloodline. It's going to be fun to see how far that he takes this and runs with it. Overall, I thought the match was okay.
It was, it was a decent match. Like I said, it was exactly what I expected it. It was similar to what you've seen on SmackDown.
Yeah.
So
is this a WrestleMania match? I myself personally, I wouldn't have put this on the card. Like you said, this is a SmackDown or a Raw. But I mean, it was an okay match.
It's a WrestleMania match to the point where they're both over. Fans want to see the two of them.
Yeah.
And it's a US title match. So yeah, I totally get it. I totally get it being at WrestleMania, but like you say, I agree with you. It's how far can Fatu take it? And it's going to be fun to actually watch him do it. Gunther and Jey Uso for the World Heavyweight Championship. I was actually very disappointed in this match. This is 2 championship matches in a row where I thought Gunther wasn't Gunther. When he lost the Intercontinental Championship to Sammy, I said it's not Gunther. Don't get me going. And then this match with Jay, it wasn't Gunther again. So Jay walks out with the World Heavyweight Championship. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought they want him to go 0-4 and keep Jay like doubting himself. Eventually win it at another pay-per-view. Yes, I still call them pay-per-views, not premium live events or whatever
PLEs.
PLEs, whatever the fuck they call them. It sounds like a sexually transmitted disease. But like all Gunther really did was chop the shit out of Jay. That's all
Which we knew was going to happen.
Yeah, we knew that was going to happen, but I didn't think that was going to be pretty much all he was going to do. And then Jay yeeted a little bit, but the ending just threw me for a loop. That tap out.
It was weird. It was weird.
Gunther tapping out to Jey Uso. And then I know you said you haven't, you didn't finish Monday Night Raw last night, so I won't go too far into the weeds, but maybe they're using this as another angle for something else. But I'm questioning now, and I'm not going to say too much because you said you haven't watched it. Where does Gunther and the World Heavyweight Championship come into play? And you'll see what I'm talking about after you finish Raw. What did you think, the World Heavyweight title match?
It's weird because I know what to expect out of both guys. There's going to be a ton of super kicks. There's going to be a ton of chops. Jay, and like with all of those Uso splashes, and then like it's weird because we were texting during that match, and like I literally said, okay, I'm not getting Seth plates. They're not in the shop. I'm not going to buy from anywhere else. If Jay wins this match, I'm getting Jay plates. And what the fuck happens? Gunther taps out. Jay wins the title, and I'm like, well, okay, they're going to be in next week. I thought the ending was weird. The match itself, it was what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
The ending just seemed weird.
Yeah, and like I said, once I'm not going to get into it. Once you finish Raw, you'll see what I mean. Maybe they're going in a different direction, and the World Heavyweight Championship is on hold right now. I don't know, but we talked about return clauses and everything like that. So I don't know what's going to happen, but the ending was weird. And like I said, I was disappointed again because it wasn't Gunther. I don't know what it is with Gunther when he's got to drop a championship, but he's just not Gunther aside from chops.
Here's a question for you. What direction do they go in with him now?
With Gunther?
Because this is two manias in a row. What happens with Gunther?
I don't know. I personally think it's almost got to be Money in the Bank now. That's what I think, but we'll see what happens in the next few months. I don't know. You tell me. You finish Raw and you tell me what you think.
Okay.
I don't want to go too far into it.
Okay.
The WWF Women's Championship, Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton. This is quite possibly one of the worst championship matches I've ever seen at a WrestleMania. There was zero fucking chemistry between these two. Absolutely zero. I'm not going to blame Tiffany and I'm not going to blame Charlotte. I think they just both shit the bed Saturday night.
It's funny that you say that because Ric Flair has gone online and has said that this match tore down WrestleMania.
Yeah, but Ric Flair is also fucking going senile. I don't know what match he was watching, but Tiffy wins, which I predicted because she's Tiffany, and like I said in the pre-show, she's younger and she's hotter than Charlotte. That's why I gave her just a slight edge, but
yeah,
that is one of the worst matches. My wife is sitting there who watches wrestling maybe 4 times a year and said there is zero fucking chemistry between these two. And what is wrong with Charlotte's ass? She has none. That was all my wife took away from that match was the lack of ass on Charlotte Flair and how shitty the chemistry is between them. And like I said, I'm not going to blame either one of them. They were both equally shitty.
Yeah, I didn't have many expectations going into this match. That kind of seems to be the trend for night one. Jesus, every
See,
match that we've reviewed so
I did
far.
have expectation in this match. This match completely fucking let me down. Just utterly and completely let me down. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought more high flying. Even just chemistry for what they did. For fuck's sake, stop botching. Do a move or two without botching. Like,
there were a few botches in that match, man. Like I remember just like, holy shit, that went wrong.
I mean, I understand it's WrestleMania and you're nervous, but eventually, I mean, 7 minutes into that match, the butterfly should have been gone.
Absolutely.
But whatever, it is what it is. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and CM Punk, triple threat. It was okay. It was, again, it was what I expected it to be for the first while. It was Punk and Rollins controlling the pace while Roman did jack shit. Called that. Knew that was going to happen. The best part of that whole match was the ending where it was the double cross. Heyman turns on CM Punk, then he turns on Roman Reigns, and he goes with Seth Rollins, which I called. And it's cool. It's cool to see because now you're going to have to, and I guarantee you, I will bet $1,000 to you right now that by next year's WrestleMania, you will have your Seth Rollins plates for your belt.
I fucking hope so, man. This match itself, and I mean, we both picked that Rollins was going to win, and there was going to be at least two people that were going to be let down by Heyman.
Yeah,
we called it. I didn't think it was going to happen the way that it did. I didn't expect, both of them getting punched in the dick.
See, I didn't know how it was going to happen. I had no idea how it was going to happen. I just knew it was going to happen. But whenever he turned on Punk, I was like, okay, and I'm watching, and and he gives the chair to Roman Reigns. I'm like, oh, maybe he's not. But then I watched Paul Heyman's eyes. And he kept looking down, and you could tell he was looking for the spot to drop and just hit him in the dick. As soon as I saw his eyes, I'm like, yeah, he's turning on Roman. Here it comes. Here it comes. He's doing it. But it was cool to see. I actually liked the way they did it. It was fitting. It was very fitting the way they did it.
Do you watch the Pat McAfee show?
I saw
on YouTube.
I saw it this morning. Just because John Cena I knew was going to be on there.
Okay.
So I watched it on TSN or whatever the hell it was, or Sportsnet, whatever.
You have to look up the segment with Paul Heyman on there.
I've seen the clips. I've seen the clips of it.
He keeps on saying he did not betray his tribal chief. He did betray CM Punk, but at the same time, he also says he honored his promise. That's all that he was obligated to do, was be in Punk's corner, escort him to the ring. That was it.
Yeah.
And Michael Cole kept on like, but why? Like, why did you betray them? Why did you betray them? And he went off on this fucking tangent. It's actually really good. You have to look it up. Look up the full episode, or the full, I think it's like 37 minutes of him on the McAfee show. And he basically almost burst a blood vessel in his eyes. He's like, someone fucking challenge me on this. Because they kept on challenging him and asking, like, why did you turn on Punk? Why did you turn on Roman? He's like, I didn't turn on anybody. I honored my obligation. My tribal chief shoved me to the ground before WrestleMania by the face. I walked CM Punk to the ring. I stood in his corner. I didn't turn on anybody. But he still wouldn't answer as to why he sided with Seth.
Well, there's more to it, and again, I'm not going to get into it until you watch Raw. But there is a very cool. It's been a long time since we've had a stable, and there is a stable being built. And
I saw some spoilers online.
Oh, did you? So you know who it is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so you know it's Braun Breaker. Yeah. Yeah. Now, but I don't think they're done. I don't
Oh, no.
think they're done adding guys. I think there's still more guys coming.
Not guys.
Oh, there'll be women too. Absolutely. Absolutely there will be.
There's gonna be a Becky.
Oh, of course
Guaranteed.
there is. Of course there is. He's going to bring her back. He wants that money in his household. Fuck. And you know what? Good on him. I don't blame him one bit.
In our preview, I had asked you what you thought was going to be the match of the night. And you said the main event, Punk, Rollins, and Reigns. After watching night one, has your pick changed, or are you still on that match as the match of the night?
No, I think I'm still there. If I was going to pick another match of the night, I was hoping it was going to be Gunther Jey Uso. Might take night one, but that just let me down a lot more than I really had hoped that it was going to. But yeah, I'm still going to say Reigns, Rollins, and Punk was the match of the night. That's what I think.
I haven't changed my mind on that either. That's definitely, I'm a Seth guy. Yeah. So, that just made my night. I think what him and Heyman can potentially do, man.
Yeah. And whoever else is going to join them.
Yep.
Okay, night two. I'm going to start off with the bust of the night. Randy Orton versus Joe Hendry. Look, I get it. Randy needs a match, but fuck. And I'm going to continue. There's something I'm going to play later on. When we finish going over these matches and rating night two, I'm going to play something for you that I think is probably the best promo I've ever heard since CM Punk's pipe bomb. And I don't know where this guy has been, but this is the guy I want. We'll get into that later. Yeah, listen. I had a laugh. He did a good job of playing it off when his music hit and he came out. You could see the look on Randy Orton's face like, this is fucking WrestleMania, boys. Like, I would have rather seen R-Truth come out there and think it's the Royal Rumble. But I mean, whatever it is, what it is, they've got TNA. They might as well use their champion and give them a little exposure. But that was a bust match. I'm not even going to go into it. It ended exactly the way it should have ended.
When his music hit, I'm like, wait a second, who the fuck is this? And I see him come out from.
Oh, I knew who it was.
I sent you a text. I'm like, what the fuck? And you're like, that's the champion from TNA. And I'm like, oh, for Jesus' sake. And I mean, okay. In his defense, he was in the Royal Rumble previously.
Yeah, he was.
I get it.
Listen, his character, I get a kick out of his character. You should have heard Adrian laughing when he does that turnaround and the camera like goes tight on him and then he gives that smile. Adrian was laughing her ass off, but if you're going to do that shit, then put Randy on night one. Don't fucking do that on night two. Whatever.
I mean, when we were texting, and I think Adrian had you had said that she had thought that maybe The Miz was going to come out.
Yeah.
I could see that way more than this. I'm 100%. Like, why in the fuck is this guy coming into the ring at WrestleMania on night two?
100%.
And I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, I mean, he's not beating Randy.
Well, no. Jesus Christ. No. I'd love R-Truth would drop him in 30 seconds for the TNA championship if they'd ever let it happen.
Absolutely.
Say his name and he appears. Fuck. Okay, moving on. We can agree it was a bust.
It was garbage.
Okay. Next match. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. A fun match. Again, what I expected it to be. Hard hitting. Well, it's a street fight. Couple of cool, like, spots that they, a couple hard shots. Drew taking selfies in the middle of it and then posting it to Twitter. I still call it Twitter, and social media is just fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Bored at work. That just made me laugh. Bored at
Still
work.
Bored at
Still
work.
bored at work. Drew goes over, which he should have. I think this should put the end to this little feud between Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre. It's kind of run its course. It doesn't warrant a steel cage, which is the way they used to end a feud back in the day. But I think this should be it. It's time for the two of them to move on. I think it's time for Drew to start looking at a singles championship and forget about Damian Priest.
That being said, who does Drew go after? That's my question. I mean, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I mean, okay, Sin City Street Fight, I would say that's their steel cage match. Like, this is the brawl to end it all.
It should be.
Also, I mean, what direction does Damian go in?
Well, that's why I'm thinking again, like maybe it's time for something new, like maybe starting to get ready for Money in the Bank. Time for him to start looking back at singles gold again.
Yeah.
There were new champions crowned all over the place. So,
oh my God,
it's, it's, as they say, WrestleMania is kind of the end of the season. Now let's hit the reset button. So I think it's time now for some new blood, because everything else was starting to get stale, but we'll see. I don't think anything is going to happen really quick with Priest. I think it's going to happen quicker with McIntyre than it is with Priest. But yeah, I think Priest isn't going to start getting big again until coming on Money in the Bank.
We haven't touched on it yet. I'm going to save this for when we get to that match, but I've got an idea as to what might happen with Damian. But yeah, this match overall, I mean, it was what it was. I think this was like I said, this was their version of a steel cage match. This should be the brawl to end it all. Drew, he's definitely got to go after a heavyweight title.
Yeah.
Who that's going to be? I mean, we can kind of see that Randy. I saw the first part of Raw. I can totally see Randy going after Cena.
Oh, yeah, that's a given.
Which would make sense because they came up the ranks in OVW.
Which would be sweet because, and I kept screaming before the championship match. Like when they announced it was going to be at WrestleMania for the 17th title, I kept screaming, don't let Cena get it. Let a guy like Randy Orton get it.
Yeah.
But now if Randy wants the record, he's got to win 18.
Yep.
I think
Randy's at what?
13 or 14.
14, right, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 14. He's got a little ways to go.
So
anyway, that's that match. I thought it was what it was.
Yeah.
Kind of figured that Drew was going to win it. And yeah.
All right, the women's tag team title match. Liv and Raquel versus Lyra and Becky Lynch, it turns out, took Bayley's spot. I didn't enjoy this match at all. Becky Lynch came out. I was like, for fuck's sake. I don't like Becky Lynch. I'm sorry. I just don't. I think she's over. She gives you an okay promo, or a pretty good promo. I just don't like her. I'm done with her. She was over. She was shoved down our throat for so long. The man, I'm the man, I'm the man. Like, fuck off. You did your shit. Go be a mom. I'm over Becky Lynch. And did you see her on Monday Night Raw?
I did.
Okay. So maybe that might get me into Becky again and go after that women's Intercontinental title. Because look, Lyra Valkyrie, she's good, but she still has a lot to learn. And I think her running around the country with Becky Lynch, either defending a title or chasing a title, is going to take her to the next level.
Yep.
But Becky can't be good. I can't stand her when the fans love her, when she's a fan favorite, when she's a good guy. But when she comes out as a heel and a bitch, I can tolerate her. I can tolerate her. So
that persona suits her.
Yeah. And I think that'll really help Lyra, because I mean, it's a given now. Well, of course the Intercontinental title is an issue. It's going to be. So I think that'll help her. I mean, it's a matter of time before she just takes it from her.
I'll be honest. I was actually really surprised that they had a return match so quick. Like literally, they won the titles the night before, and then you have a tag match like the next night.
Well, it's good to see because we're used to the norm. Oh, return match the next night. Oh, the champs keep the belts.
Yeah.
You never see a title change immediately 24 hours later. So I loved it. I thought it was great.
That's the first time that we've seen that in a long time.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised, but at the same time, in terms of the women's tag division, okay, now what direction do they go in with? So you put the belts back on Liv and Raquel. Who is going to challenge them? Like who? Like Bailey's probably on the shelf for a little while, so she's not going to be tagging with Lyra. And I mean, Becky's now out of the question, obviously. Yeah, like who? Like, are they just going to?
That's a good question. I don't know. That's a really good question. They'll probably just show up and be bitches like they usually are.
Cut promos.
Yeah, that's pretty much it until like all tag team wrestling, like we talked about. It's just in a state right now.
Yeah.
But the match itself, WrestleMania, I didn't think much of it at all. Becky and Valkyrie walk away with the tag titles and lose them, and Becky turns her back on Monday Night Raw. So that's that. The WWF Intercontinental title, Braun Breaker, Penta, Finn Balor, and Dominic Mysterio. This was an awesome match. I thought it was good. It was stiff. It was fast. Dominic impressed the hell out of me in the whole thing. Listen, Dominic takes the Intercontinental Championship. He wins the match. It's a matter of time. I thought the Judgment Day were done at WrestleMania.
We talked about that, man.
I also thought Judgment Day was done 6 months to a year ago. It's a matter of time now before Finn is gone. That's the way it's looking anyway. But Dominic with this Intercontinental Championship is going to be a fun run, and he just has to embrace Eddie more and more every single day. Eddie was Intercontinental Champion a few times. And Dominic has got to just he's got to have the mindset, what would Eddie do? What would Eddie do? He's got to go back and watch tape after tape after tape. If he wants to completely say, like, my dad's not Rey Mysterio, I consider Eddie was my father, then he's got to go back and watch tape after tape after tape after tape of Eddie with that Intercontinental Championship. How long is it before Dominic starts doing what Eddie would do? Like if you had a chair in the ring, slam it into the mat, throw it at the guy, and then drop to the mat like he's dead. And the referee turns around and the guy's holding the chair. I lie, I cheat, I steal. Like... But his Intercontinental title run is going to be fun. I'm going to like this. I love Dominic Mysterio. He just has to be more like Eddie.
You've said that for a long time, man. You've been a big Dirty Dom fan for a while. I get it. I see it. I think you're right. I think like from a wrestling perspective, I think his title run is going to be fun. I did not have him winning this match. I had Braun. I'm like, I was looking at this. I'm like, okay, Finn is not pinning him. Penta is not pinning him. Dominic Mysterio is definitely not pinning him. I had Braun basically turning them all into fucking pretzels.
I did too. And fucking Dominic made us all look like tools.
I thought it was a good match. For what it was an okay match. It surprised the hell out of me at the end with Dominic coming out of being the champion.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to what direction that they're going to go in with him having the strap.
As Vince would say, we don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be fun. AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. Now, this match it was good. It was a good match, but it disappointed me. I was expecting a lot more, a lot friggin' more, like more high flying, impactful stuff. But the match was still good. But what was better was there was the storyline for WrestleMania was Logan Paul and AJ Styles, but it was the storyline within the storyline with him and Karrion Kross. That is now I took AJ going over because I felt it was time for Logan Paul to start doing jobs, but I get it. Looking back on it now, hindsight's 2020. It is the right thing to do for Logan to go over because they have to continue this storyline, and it's going to continue with AJ Styles and Karrion Kross. Looking back on it now, I think the match ended the way it should have ended. With Karrion being like, "Do it, be the bastard." But what I didn't like was there should have been a ref bump or something. Because the referee is standing in the ring, he's got the brass knuckles, and he's telling AJ to hit him right in front of the referee. Well, if that happens, it's a disqualification. Yeah. So I think in order for there should have been a ref bump. Have the referee go down and then have Karrion go in and say, hit him, just do it. And then he gets in the ring and he gets sidetracked and Logan does his thing. The referee comes to, counts 3. That would have made more sense. But it was still good. I still enjoyed the match. It wasn't quite what I expected. Like I said, I would have rathered some more flying, but it wasn't about the match. It was about the story with Karrion Kross that's going to continue now.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I mean, with what they've been pushing the last while with Karrion and AJ, I was actually surprised that wasn't a match as opposed to, putting him in there with Logan Paul. It's in Las Vegas. That's Karrion's hometown. He came up, he cut his teeth in that area in Las Vegas. The match itself, it was entertaining. I was actually surprised. I had AJ going over in that match. Like we talked about, kind of figured that Logan is going to start doing a few jobs, for the business, but this is going to put him in a totally different direction. I think. I think they're if he's serious about being a full timer, I think this match was his launching pad.
Well,
to me,
I wouldn't necessarily say it was his launching pad, but I think he's past that now. I don't think he's still an attraction. He can say he's a full timer all he wants. He's still an attraction, and I don't think he's done here yet. I say within the next year to 2 years, he will be maybe world heavyweight champion. That's
a bold prediction.
That's what I feel. I think at this point, they almost have to do it just because it's Logan Paul. I mean, I don't know. I just got a feeling that, there's more. He's not done going higher yet. And the women's world championship, Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair. This, in my eyes, was the match of WrestleMania. This match was fucking awesome. It was stiff. Like, it was It was stiff. EO did her high flying, but she took a couple of damn, like there was one point she went for a moonsault or something, and she's so short. Rhea got her knees up and she basically bounced off of Rhea's knees. Like even Adrian watched that and was like, "Holy fuck. Yeah, that was a hard hit." I love the hard hitting. I love the fast pace. And I'm glad that EO successfully defended the title and she gets to continue with her run, because I think this run is going to be way better than her last run when she was with Damage Control the first time around.
I thought this was a really good match. We were texting during this one. It started off fast. There was high flying. Like you said, there were some stiff fucking moments in this match. Rhea sporting a black eye from it. Yeah, I don't know. I can see EO taking this and running for a long time with it. I don't know what's going to go on with Rhea and Bianca. I still think Bianca's going to end up turning heel at some point. I was anticipating it happening.
Yeah, I think she has to at this point.
I think she does. The whole being like the role model, I think that's done. That's done and over with. I think she does have to turn heel. Uh, what happens with Mommy, I don't know. Um, Maybe she's on what? What brand is she on right now? She's on the Raw brand. Maybe she goes to SmackDown and chases after another title. I don't know. But looking at that match, I thought this was the match of the night.
It was awesome. This was the best match in WrestleMania period, I thought. And in my eyes, this match saved it. Now, the WWE Undisputed Championship, Cena and Cody. I just nodded my head, shook it, and said "doh," because Cena walked away with the record and the WWE title. Now, this match, I will say this, had amazing storytelling. The storytelling in this match was great until fucking Travis Scott came down to the ring. He did not need to come down. It completely took away from the match and the story that was being told. Too many ref bumps. Was there what, two or three ref bumps or something?
I think so.
Travis Scott did not need, they didn't need that many ref bumps, and they did not need Travis Scott to come down. Now, I know The Rock wasn't there. Okay. So it's almost like you had to have someone come down to screw Cody Rhodes out of the WWE Championship. I think there could have been one ref bump. Cena gets a chair and beats the shit out of Cody, or just grabs the belt and hits him with it. Referee comes 2, counts 3. Travis Scott taking his sweet ass goddamn time coming down to that ring just offset the entire match, I thought. Fuck the storyline. It fucked the ending to the match. And it just, I don't know. Just, I didn't like it. I did. It was okay. I thought it was slow, but you have to realize that John Cena hasn't been in the ring in how long? You can ride all the bikes you want, and you can do all the cardio you want. If you're not in the ring, you're going to be blowing up. You're going to be gassed up. So it had to be a slower paced match. I get it. But for what it wasn't bad until, like I said, Dickhead took his sweet ass time coming down to the ring. I think it ruined it.
I understand that the history between this PLE and the last one, where Travis slapped him and
sure,
burst his eardrum and all that kind of stuff. I get it. But you're going to bring him down to the ring, and you've got T-shirts that are saying, finally, The Rock has come back to Las Vegas, and The Rock doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And there's history between Cody and The Rock doesn't show up, but yet you bring him down to the ring.
I'd be pissed if I bought one of those shirts thinking The Rock was going to be there.
Imagine paying for a seat ringside, thinking that Rock is going to show up in the main event.
Yeah.
And he's a no-show.
Yeah.
I'd be pissed. overall, the match it factored out as I thought it was going to be. I was hoping Cody was going to win. That's who I picked. I didn't see any point in putting a strap on Cena just for the sake of him getting 17, where he's going to be retiring in a couple of months.
Well, and now he explained it was 37 appearances. So he's got till December. And he said, look how much time you've missed, blah, 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 blah. So
yeah,
now it's like 27 appearances left. Not
26,
matches.
27. Just appearances. Yeah.
It's like, oh, you couldn't tell us that before so we could read into it?
Yeah. It was the match itself was I wasn't overwhelmed. I was underwhelmed. Cena hit his finishing move a couple of times. It didn't do anything to draw me in to say that night 2 was the best night.
No, and that's why I said, well, night 2 I thought was better than night 1. A lot better, but
it started off better.
The match of the night, or the match of WrestleMania, was the triple threat for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. I think that's what saved WrestleMania, but at the same time, WrestleMania didn't feel like WrestleMania this year. I don't know why. I was still excited. I'm always excited for it. But it just didn't have that WrestleMania feeling that it has in the past. I don't know. It's weird. Now, we need to talk about Austin on his quad. And we don't know. We have no idea. Was he drinking in the back?
Absolutely.
Of course he was. Was he buzzed up? Absolutely he was. Did you see the footage of him when he first came out? He almost went underneath the fucking ramp. He didn't know where he was before. He didn't know where he was going. On the
stage, he crashed the quad before.
And then he couldn't back it out. They had to help him. That's what took so fucking long after his music hit. But that bitch too, like Austin hits the ramp and 2 or 3 seconds later, she falls back. And we went back and we watched it a few times and she had this pissed off look on her face. Listen, this bitch is going to try to get something out of it. She obviously didn't read her ticket that says you're there on your own accord, blah, 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 blah. Anything fucking happens, like you basically sign a waiver saying like you get nothing. Give her an Austin t-shirt or a ticket to Monday Night Raw and tell her to screw off. Whether Austin was drinking or not, fuck her.
I laughed at that, man. I roared at that. I was just like, he is so loaded.
Oh my God, he hit the thing and he looked at her and laughed. Like, are you all right? Okay. Now to finish this off, I want to play you something that I came across last night. I'm pretty sure it was with Sam Roberts. And there's another lady. I don't know who she is. I don't know her name. I think I've seen her before, but I can't think of it. They were doing a podcast, or maybe they were doing a review about WrestleMania. Karrion Kross walked in. And okay. I don't know where this Karrion Kross has been, but I would put this guy close to a main event if I heard promos like this every night. It reminded me of the way CM Punk was back when he had enough. Just take a listen to this.
Let's talk about how awesome it is that Logan Paul just won. And let's talk about, Sam, let's talk about what Logan Paul represents. The shortcut. Feels so good to be here. Feels so good to be in the business. Thinking about all of the funerals that I wasn't able to attend for the last 11 years in this business. All of the holidays I missed. I could have just started a YouTube channel. Could have just jumped in there with AJ Styles. Feels really good, right? It's awesome. It's really good.
Do you guys know we have 25 years combined experience, and what are we doing on Mania?
Well, they know because they're normal human beings, and they actually love professional wrestling, but apparently that doesn't mean shit anymore. That doesn't mean shit. All I asked Alan to do was for once to not think about just himself. Think about everybody in the back and think about the professional wrestling fans. That's all I wanted him to do. Sometimes to do the right thing, you have to do the wrong thing. But he's a narcissist, and he had to do it his way. Hey, Alan, how many more WrestleManias do you have in your system? Probably, I don't know, one. Maybe this is the last one, and you just pissed that away. For what? For what? For your way? Thanks a lot, bud. I really appreciate it. You want to know what the best advice I ever got? It was from Bill Goldberg. 2021, back when I was in the Twilight Zone, you know what I mean? I'm wrestling for gasoline. It was awesome. Let me tell you all about it. Bill goes, hey, Kross, you know what? You remind me a lot of me. I go, I think we have different styles, Bill, but I really appreciate that. Do you have any advice for me? He goes, you know what? You just got to be a good soldier. A good soldier is what he said. So I decided to be a good soldier. You know what happened? They released me. And then I come back. You know what being a good soldier gets you, everybody here? Just so in case you're wondering, you want the back scoop here. Being a good soldier gets your times cut. Being a good soldier means that people come up to you and say, hey, you got any great ideas? Yeah, here it is from Scotland. No. That's a little too great. We're looking just for good ideas. That's for those guys over there. That's what being a good soldier is, okay? Being a good soldier is coming to your hometown where you cut your teeth, where you got started, and not being on the card. It's all about viral moments now. That's what it's all about, viral moments. Well, Guy, everybody's been telling me that I got to become undeniable. And as soon as it happens, they ignore it and they shut it down. I never asked to wrestle Randy. I never asked. That happened organically, and you ignored it for a viral moment. And good on Joe. Nothing against him. But you ignored it. And the crowd told you exactly how they felt about me on SmackDown when I was eliminated. And you ignored it. Become undeniable. My ass. My ass. You want a viral moment? On behalf of all of the true fans of professional wrestling, Guy with the suit and tie in the truck, go fuck yourself. That's from Killer Kross. No. Fuck it.
So this was after WrestleMania.
Holy fuck.
I'm assuming it was in the back. Now I'm watching this because it was on YouTube. And in the back behind him was a black and white poster. And all I saw was the cross. It was CM Punk, but you couldn't see his face. It was just the cross. That was behind Karrion Kross, which I thought was ironic.
Okay.
Until CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb promo. And I like the fact that he wasn't saying AJ. He was calling him by his real name, Alan. The last time that had been done was years and years ago when Edge and Matt Hardy were going at it because Edge started fucking Lita.
Yep.
And he said, you're a son of a bitch. You're a son of a bitch, Adam. Go fuck yourself. Blah, 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 blah. But I'm watching this. I'm like, where has this Karrion Kross been? Is that what it takes to get a good promo over at a guy's, is just have them lose their shit now? Like, if I heard promos like this every night, there's no way he would have been off WrestleMania. But I don't know how many people heard this. That's why I had to throw this in there, because this is one of the best. Now, whether it's a work, whether it's a shoot, I don't know. But this is one of the best promos I've heard since CM Punk's pipe bomb.
You know, we've talked to, I don't know what end of how they dropped the ball with, oh, Jesus, what's his name?
Dolph Ziggler?
Yes.
Yeah.
I find they're doing the same thing with Karrion Kross.
Well, they've been working, they 2 or 3 times I can think of right off, they've dropped the ball on him. So, I mean, I get when they had the little faction. Well, it wasn't working out because they weren't using them.
No,
they just weren't using them. And then everyone got, well, even when they released them the first time, they brought him back, they're still treating him like a jackass. So I don't know where it goes from now, but if he keeps up this intensity, and I didn't want to say anything when we were talking about the AJ match. I just wanted to wait till everything was done because I wasn't sure if you heard this yet. So I didn't. I wanted to see like your expressions as like he was talking.
Now, think about this for a second. He drops this promo, and like you said, you haven't heard of anything like this since the pipe bomb.
No.
Vince is still in power, and Karrion Kross drops this. Did Triple H orchestrate this, or was it genuine? If Vince is still in power and this is Karrion Kross just shooting from the heart, you know, he's coming right from his fucking soul, and just goes off on the company, which he did. I hadn't heard this before. This is the first time that I'm hearing this.
See,
what does Vince do?
I think what Vince would do, I don't know. Karrion's a big dude, hell of a lot bigger than what CM Punk is. So I think Vince, God damn it, pal, now that's a promo. You know, Triple H, I don't know. I think it might be a work shoot. I think the way he was talking, he was so passionate. I think it's definitely the truth. But at the same time, he kept referring to the WrestleMania match and what AJ didn't do. So that's what tells me it's a work shoot. It's definitely a work, but he's shooting from the heart when he's telling everyone to go fuck themselves, and he's tired of not being used. And I think eventually they have no choice, especially after giving this promo. I think they have to start looking at Karrion Kross and saying, okay, we're wasting a talent here. This guy's got something, and we have to take this, we have to capitalize it. And I think his next target is definitely going to be AJ Styles. And that is our review, guys, of WrestleMania. Wasn't the greatest WrestleMania of all time, but hey, it wasn't bad. A few things saved it. We had a great time bringing this to you, folks. And until the next show, my name is Doug. I am out.